So hello my dear students and welcome back to another fresh new episode of your homeschooling and digital learning process. Students, today in our digital classroom we'll be talking about question number 4 part C. In our last class we had discussed about question number 4 part A as well as part B, that is your meaning section and your question answer series. Now students, today it's time to discuss about question number 4 part C, that is your Pressy writing. I'll be talking about the basic mistakes that students generally commit in their board examinations. What are the basic suggestions that you need to follow while you write your board examinations? The drawing of the grid, collection of the facts, presentation of the points. So students, this is a digital classroom and let's begin our show for today. Now my dear students, I hope that you people have watched this particular video so that you can get a clear-cut idea about question number 4 of your English paper 1. Yes, this particular video brings you an introduction to comprehension writing in your ICSE board examination, as well as it discusses question number 4 part A and part B in detail. Now students, today first we need to discuss about Pressy writing and then shift on to our business later. Now students, here what do you mean by a Pressy? That's the important question for today. First you need to know what the subject matter is and then go down to the details of the same. Now, what do you mean by a Pressy? A Pressy is a summary or an abstract of a text, a speech or a passage. Few people call it as synopsis, few people call it as a wrap-up, but you have a word limit set in front of you. 50 words is the conclusion. Got it? 50 words and you need to wrap up everything then and there. You should not exceed 50 words at any cost, otherwise there is a deficit for you people. Yes, the marks will be deducted. My dear students, here are the steps that you got to follow before answering your question number 4 part C. Yes, the first step says read your passage very carefully. Yes, of course you got to read your passage very carefully, whether it is question number 4 part A, 4 part B or 4 part C. Unless you read your passage very carefully, you cannot provide an adequate answer to the questions. Next point is, please read your question number 4 part C. Yes, you got to read your question number 4 part C. Check out the demands and then come back to your passage. Mark your keywords is your third step. Yes, you got to mark your keywords so that it can help you while you write your Pressy. Okay, next is drawing of a grid. Yes, very important factor. You got to draw your grid or the boxes, and council every year stresses on this particular point that please teach your students to draw the grids, because students generally tend to write a freehand, that is they write in a passage form. That is not accepted. Please students, draw the grids and write your Pressy. Students, our next step is to draw the rough draft as well as the fair draft. Yes, you got to draw the rough draft and fair draft both, so that you can clearly rectify your mistakes from your rough draft. You can learn from there and immediately you can jot down the correct points in your fair draft. Correct? So I'll tell you the procedure of drawing the rough draft and the fair draft as well. Now, next and the last point is specify your word count. Yes, you got to specify the number of words that you have used in your Pressy. Just bracket it down, whether it is 48, 49 or 50, just specify there. 48 words, 49 words, 50 words, whatever it is. Got it? Now, it should not exceed more than 50. It should not be 51 words. Got it? So, if you exceed, there's a penalty for you people. So students, let's check out one by one what you got to do next. So my dear students, once you're up with your first 3 steps, that is, you got to read your passage carefully, you got to read your question number 4 point C, as well as you got to mark your keywords. Once you're up with these 3 steps, you got to draw the grids. A very simple calculation. 10 into 5 is equal to 50 and your word limit is 50 words. So you got to draw the grids. It will be 10 into 5. Be very careful about your rows and columns. Exact number of grids, exact number of rows, exact number of columns. Correct? So next you got to make a small bracket at the end. Just check out towards your right hand side. You have the entire specimen that will give you a clear-cut idea about your rough draft. On top, I have written ROUGHDRAFT, rough draft, so that your examiner is very clear. Correct? Your examiner is very clear that you are writing your rough draft. Next, the main important step, you got to strike it out from left hand side to right hand side. Got it? From left to right, you need to strike it out. Now, here students commit a mistake. Either they do it in a crisscross manner or from right hand side towards the left hand side. So that is totally wrong. Please avoid it. You got to strike it from the left hand side towards the right hand side. Done. So this is one procedure, and then please do not forget to strike from left to right. Why? Because it will not be considered as your rough draft then. Got it? So my advice, my technique to you people is, once you finish drawing your grid, your rows and columns are ready, please then and there take a pencil and strike it out. It's very easy, you'll not forget. What generally happens is, in a hurry, you tend to write very fast to cover up the time, and later on you forget to strike it out from left to right. So here what you can do is, once you are up with your rough draft, you have drawn your grid, please take your pencil and strike it out from left to right. Now here, the writing part is to be done with a pen. Got it? The writing part, the words that you are going to fill in the box, is with a pen, and the drawing of the grids, striking off, is a part that you need to do with a pencil. Got it? I hope that this particular thing is very clear to you people, and the points that you have collected, please try and frame it in your rough draft, so it is very easy for you people to copy the same thing down in your fair draft. Now students, one more very important technique I would like to share with you people. Now students, in your rough draft, you can tend to write 51 to 52 words. That's very technical issue here. You are playing with the examiner's mind here. How? Suppose if your word count is 52 words in your rough draft, got it? And when you people are writing a fair draft, make one point very specifically in your mind, keep this thing point in your mind, that you got to write 50 words only. 49 permittable, 50 permittable, 51 not permittable in case of fair draft. So now here, if you see how human mind works, 52 was your word count in the rough draft. Now in your fair draft, it is 50 words. So what the examiner will think, okay, the child has somehow managed, somehow he has squeezed out, somehow he has tried to, do some innovation with his content, and he has fixed it out somehow within 50 words. But this is just kind of a mind play. And then when you write your fair draft, in your fair draft, please do not strike it out from left to right. Fair draft is your final consideration for the examiner. He or she is going to check your fair draft. Along with that, when you mention your word count, like you have used 49 words, you remember that bracket that I had said you? In that bracket, please mention your word count, that is 49 words, 50 words. But in your fair draft, please do not exceed more than 50 words. Now children, I'll be pointing out few general mistakes the students do commit in their board examination. Now you people got to take a learning from here. You got to take a lesson from this particular episode, and you should not commit such kind of errors in your board examination. Now students, I find students writing in a paragraph form. We need to encourage the habit of writing in a grid, correct? And that's the point, and that's the place where you lose marks, correct? Next, I find students simply lifting anything from the passage and putting it down just for just for a formality. They need to fill out and they'll be getting 8 marks. No, this is not the scenario. Check out what question demands, mark your keywords. From that keywords, you got to frame a grammatically correct sentence, and then you got to fit in your grids. Now here students, again the concept of tenses is highly important here. Why? Until unless your tenses are clear, you will not get an idea to frame a correct sentence, and you got to write correct sentences in the boxes. Now here the 8 marks are totally based on the specified points that will be present in the passage. According to the question, according to the demand of the question, you got to collect those points, and this can happen only when you read between the lines and try to extract the hidden meaning from there. If you write a blank summary, that's of no use. Unless they have asked you for a summary, you need not, abbreviate things. You need not squeeze it out and write or try and write something that is very irrelevant to the context asked over there. Students, these are general errors that you people commit, and the errors that I said you about, not striking it from left to right, or maybe not drawing your rough draft, or not giving your word count, writing in a haphazard manner, putting full stop in a separate blank. You need to be very careful. Your punctuation should come in the same blank. You got it? The punctuation should be in the same blank. Suppose if I say I am not going to school today, I'm not going to school today, so today full stop should be in the same box. You should not write today in one box, full stop in another box. Please do not do so. It's totally wrong. The punctuation should be in the same box. So these are all things that you need to keep in your mind. Whereas I've got few suggestions from the council's analysis, can check that out. So my dear students, those were a few tips and suggestions that will help you to score far more better in your Pressy writing. Your students, these tips and suggestions will also develop your vocabulary, as well as it will help you to enhance your Pressy writing skills. Now, last week I had shared with you people one comprehension exercise way back from 2019 English paper 1. I had asked you to solve question number 4 part A and B. Today it's time to check out question number 4 part C, that is your Pressy writing. I hope that you people have solved it down, and today we'll be checking it out with the marking scheme provided by the council. So my dear students, that's all for today. Next week, same day, same time, I'll be back with another fresh new topic. Till then, stay home, stay safe, and keep learning.